Good morning. Time is 8:08 hours 45 minutes. Saturday, August 25th, 2018. Title Clothing versus all truth. I don't say truth no more unless it's information I just figured out. But all truth and versus closed minded. I talk about this. If you haven't noticed yet, I challenge your mind and your spiritual being, soul, or makeup of you heart to challenge what you was taught, bred, fostered. Bred is breed, breeded, fostered, and what was nurtured to us from day one. So what our grandmother learned, compared to what's really out there to the truth of what's haven't been told. Like we say closed minded, which it mean to like not really well definition. It had the word value, but I ain't gonna put the word value. Not to I'm gonna say value in the sense of because that's how they use it. Other people opinions, and you're not open to other ideas or opinions. That will cause you to be closed minded or views, other ways of life. And we got to think if that's the case, if we're going to use closed minded, aren't the people, if you're not really looking to be compassionate, you're not sympathizing, you're not emphasizing, like one word I can think of that if you're going to say if one person is closed minded and you're not, are you selfish? If I'm going to talk about a lot, which goes into closed minded because the selfishness is not based upon just because you can do what you do is based upon how free you are. Like we don't talk about this no more. How free are you? I mean, in yourself. Some people are free based on religion or their experiences, their money, their house, their clothes. That's freedom. That's freedom. Because it's a dome, it's doomed. Because once that blow up, they have no other outlook. So I say I am my freeness. Just like if you say you're homeless, you have a less places to go to. You always can have a home, but you don't have a place to go to on a regular basis, like night after night, day after day, time. So you are homeless. You're absent without a home, but you still have it's less than it's not it's greater. Like right now, I live in an apartment. I have an apartment to go to, so I'm not homeless. My homeless is like I probably can go crash at a friend house, my mother house, but they won't want me to live there. And if you think about it, that's selfish. If you can think upon a person that needed your help at any time in your life, I don't mean a person that's out there because they're lost in the iniquity that was before them, like the drugs, the abuse, the sexual violence, abuse, sexual abuse, mental abuse, like the you have depression, you're taking on the forms of the world. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about a person like, wow, you just using drugs. That's I mean, I am talking about that. Sorry about that. And those people are doing that. It's kind of hard to get them to make them aware of like, hey, if you start doing drugs, you can have a little bit more money or your mind, you can think a different and better way for yourself to improve yourself. Like people that smoke weed, you're trying to march on people and keep telling them that CBD is or cannabis is good for you. No, it's not so much good. It's from the earth. The creator never said that this is too much. What we're doing is too much. If and I brought this up. I don't care what nobody say. Look at the race. That's why I'm not so quick to race mingle or interracialize because other tribes and civilizations had different diseases. Other tribes and I don't never see, and I can keep talking about this. I'm in the healthcare. I don't see black people with muscular dystrophy. You're born a certain way, then we like you. It's rare that I see a young black man with polio because if you look at his family history, his father and mother was given different types of disease. Like even how Ebola started. We keep saying these diseases were man-made. It's only really one true disease. It's through the colon and the mucus. If you can research this, if those are not, and these foods that we're eating is building up bad colons and it's building up mucus in our body. That's the only disease. And if those two don't create, so if your body not filtering out the food in what's coming in your body and excreting it the proper way, and the foods have different little enzymes and molecules in them that's disgusting, that draws out a lot of the bad or make bad upon your body. You're not prepared to prevent your body to go through this, then you will contract those diseases. And people don't know originally HIV wasn't a thing because your body was fighting off. They started putting more in food where your body couldn't fight off diseases. HIV is not, it's a virus. It was a virus being fought off naturally in your body. When we started eating certain foods, they learned that. That's why medical is alchemy. Start reading and studying now because this is no longer 2015 was no more excuses. The spirit. This year was given to me. It all will come. Like it will happen. Whatever we want to happen will happen. Whatever you manifest will manifest. So a closed minded versus the all truth is it's like is my mind like okay, I see a woman with blonde hair. It's not natural hair, blonde hair. And I was like, why you want to wear that? It's these new isms and isms and it's like racism, colorism, nationalist, socialist. You're grouping yourself into a category of organization. It's part of the order, the propaganda, the subliminal messages, the rules, RUEL. It's a trick. It's a con. It's to keep telling you, and it's a trans. We're not in the matrix or assimilation. We're in a trans. We're going through a process. We can't break free because of the iniquities before us, and we keep manifesting. People are like, well, the world will end today. Well, if I drop a nuclear bomb on the earth, yeah, the earth most likely will end today. That's what is happening. It's no other. And I want to say this to explain. People like when I have closed mind, because people that says that has a closed mind. Because when you start asking them about murder, death, abuse, if I ask you about one thing, and it sounds funny to people, all truth aligned to all truth. No, you never heard this like this. This is and it's this is a lot of my videos. I hope young men and women, all nationalities and ethnicity, sees my video, and hopefully, since we on social media so much, the younger generation, the young, AKA not AKAs, don't use that, the descendant of African people that we know of, we're descendant from, called Black or Negro in America, which that they gave us the slave name by trade, because a lot of things in the trade. And if you look up trade information, and this Puerto Rican dude trying to tell me some information, like I'm Boricua. I was like, yeah, you're part of the Spaniards. That was colonizations. That's what created Boricuas. And I know I said the word wrong, but that's how I speak. And the Spaniards was conquerors. That's how you got the Mexicans, the Puerto. That's how you got all these different these nationalities. But before they was more pure. I have other things in me now because maybe and this is too of naturals. I could call that natural selection or is natural. That means it was inclined to happen, not forcefully. I don't have the depiction of a black woman, a quote unquote black woman on TV with a white man or a white movie or a video, and then say that's programming people. That's saying it's okay if that happens, but let it happen naturally. Because at birth, a child really started going through the iniquity based on the parents and their environments, they demographic, based on the world. Basically, you can't get around what you experience. Like I've been called the nigger 12 times in 2 years since I lived in the area lived in. Been thrown at 6 things now. It was 4, now it's 6 times. Based on my skin, nothing to do with nothing. I don't know none of these people. Never seen not one of these people. And it's crazy how when things happen to me, I like zone in just like a fight. But I zoom out. I remember I had to hone in my skill. So when I fight, I don't see one person. I see all the people surrounding me because I got good at observing. I had trained myself. I trained myself what people do other people. To me, teaching, training, unless you educating or guiding, you shouldn't be doing. That's wrong. That's part because you're teaching. That's like if when you take a floppy disk they used to have in the computer, if you know what a floppy disk is, now they call them thumb drives or flash drive. If you copy, upload, or download any information to that thumb or flash drive, it carries over. So imagine when the man impregnates the woman through the seed, his seed touches her the other part of the seed where it creates and forms an embryo and it creates a baby inside of that seed in her ovaries and her uterus. They now become her womb, become baby part of life. You brought that to life because now you're transporting different information to different computer systems. And that's what he did. His information was decoded and programmed into her through that sperm. See, and it had to travel, and it was a worm. It needed to go through a lot of places to make sure, and it hit the mark. And if it didn't go through, just like anything, it was a trials and tribulation. Even your sperm go through a trial and a tribulation when it had to go through 4 different sections of the woman body, which is long for a little tiny little. If you take like a thumbnail, it'll probably make it there within an hour. A sperm probably take a couple hours or so, 3 to 4 or 5 hours to make it to the destination to find the ovary. But it's coded and it gives off the signal. See what I'm saying? You see how all this work? So if we really gonna do closed-minded versus all truth, I'm gonna do all truth now. Everything's gonna be versus all truth. He said in the closed mind, but if everything don't line up the same way, you're closed-minded. So we have to start getting rid of that. My opinion and my view is based off of my life. It's not a closed-minded. And I'm gonna go into that now. Being closed-minded, we say if I don't see other races, or since I never seen, we started seeing more kids because of the colonization and interracializing, intermingling, that I'm starting to see black kids with blonde hair. But we're forgetting they're not all black. You got to remember what race made, what nationality, ethnicities, what tribes and civilization made up what we're looking at today. In Brazil, if we're not constantly, if people that was together, let's say Taino, that have Puerto Rico and Brazilian have Taino in them, that and Lebanese, like, so you got to go look this up. And this is what I'm saying, like, oh, truth. And a person try to tell me something, I'm like, hold on, stop. Do you know where that even come from? I was like, we're black. That's why I was like, that's why they look black. They're not black. They have the skin color. That's don't black African descent. Just because you have a skin color of African, that don't mean there is black. That 1% rule is false. That's incorrect. It's based on your nationality, your civilization, which it has been destroyed. And the more you intermingle without information, I'm not saying that's going to happen naturally, but it's being forced in the programs. That's closed-minded. It's keeping you straight and it's narrow. But nobody call it closed-minded when it comes to their religion. See, we picking and choosing. So this is how I want to get to closed-minded. It's murder, and it's a challenge in your mind. Since if we're gonna say that's closed-minded now versus all truth, it's all murder the same. We say no. In the law of the eyes of people, but in the spirit, it is all the same. If I murder you neglectfully by throwing you up in the air, a child in the air, or a person, now I drop them and they hurt their head, fall and bump their head, wasn't it my responsibility to make sure that person or that child did not get hurt? So that is my fault. If I create a ride and a person dies off of that ride, now I'm doing it more extreme. It's a more platform where you're going to enjoyment. Is that not my fault? That's murder. See, and then we got different degrees because now we understand. Well, the intent wasn't meditated and it wasn't there. That's the third degree. Now you're going up. Okay, I had a little thought about it. That's the second. Now when you meditated, you pondered it, you thought about it, and you physically went to go do it. You bought the gun, you bought the bullets, you put the gun around, you walked up the person and shot him. Not that already had a gun and it was sitting there and you made me angry, but out of the defense you shot him. That's still second degree murder. I'm not going to change murder based on, because I'm speaking on all truth. But a closed-minded person would only keep it a narrow way in their opinion. That's not an opinion. That is a point of saying what is murder. That's murder regardless. I'm driving in the car. I have, and that's why I don't like cars. People keep saying, well, you don't got a car, this and that. Well, your only mind is only thinking one way. How many people died this year in a car crash? How many people got ran over by a car? See, nobody thinks about that. I don't think it can happen to me, but a car I only weigh 230 pounds, 235, and the car weigh 1,000 pounds. That's like that's 700 and some odd pounds that I have no control over, that I cannot move on my own. And I'm in the inside, so it's not like I can move the car. If so, think about that. See, nobody want to think, but but we're gonna say closed minded. I'm reaching on closed minded, or I'm speaking on closed minded because we got to really understand what we're talking about. See, a lot of my videos gonna be more of an understanding what we're talking about than I'm here to guide you into. I want to talk about investments, but that's not where my area is at. That's not my expertise. That's where that require where at the time I'm talking to you about what I'm my mission and purpose, what I'm here for. Those other things I'm doing more research. And then when I come back to you, it'd be more thought out and more planned, and then I could get to the point directly. But what I'm doing now is I'm getting to the point directly. It's easier because I don't have because I this is my lifestyle. I got to make sure that I do a video versus lifestyle versus like changes, like people, like, okay, like now another closed minded way of like the all truth. People talk about judging people. Well, to me, to be a woman, I have to judge her based on her characters, her personality, her morals, her ethics. And so when are we not judging people? So when I tell people, when people try to say, oh, that's judging, I say, you're married or in a relationship? They're like, yes. I was like, how do you get that person? Well, I talk to them, they talk to me. So did you not judge them? And they stop talking. And they think about it. Just like the one lady, like last week, tried to say that was control. That's not control because a man, the director of the building, told me to go home. He's not controlling me. I am employed by a job and through the contract. So the law of the land, if a person that is in a higher rank or position than me, that they hire through the building to make sure the building is safe. And if I'm doing wrong, how is he controlling me? See, and we got to take that away. And she walked away. I said, you're being controlled by your thoughts and your mind because she said, and how she spoke, and she said a woman not supposed to take care of a man. So on her lines, a man is being taken care of, a woman pay for a date. She said a man is not supposed to take care of a woman. It never said that. And if you look at how men and women interact, a man is supposed to protect, not take care of. Until you become courted and become a wife, he should not be taking care of you. And see, that's the closed minded of tradition, and they call it traditional values. It's not a traditional value. That's the world's way of view. That's closed minded. You're not open to understand and get to logic, be practical, and analyze what I said. So that would make it a challenge to you. But until you challenge your mind, you would never have true understanding. With all understanding, you get knowledge. With knowledge, you get wiseness. You would never become wise because you're closed mind. And they be like, you closed mind. I was like, don't close mind me, because you're just trying to draw me on lines because I don't care for it. I don't say nothing. I didn't say nothing's wrong with it, but I say this is why it happened. That's not closed minded. I'm giving you all truth of what happened. You don't know your history. That's something you need to go. You need to like, okay, why? And I asked her, why do you think that way? It couldn't give me an answer. That's closed minded. It's only narrow and it's just your point. It's not open to other views, and you're not open to truly understand. That's closed minded. Versus all truth. I'm giving you truth. Like, why do you think that way? I'm challenging why. What is so important about so are you associating your money to your love, to your pussy, to your vagina, the way to your heart? It's up through your pussy instead of your heart to your mind to mentally stimulate you first. I don't have to touch your pussy yet. I don't have to touch your vagina. You don't have to touch my penis or my dick, we want to call it, to stimulate my mind and brain. I don't have two different heads. They call it the head because that's the point of the part where that's the pleasurable for the man, just like the clitoris. So I'm going to think with all truth. I'm not going to just associate just by association. So you got to watch who you hang out with, young men and women. By association, how is this person valuing in the morals of the ethics? What were you taught? So if you was taught and trained a certain way, but if that's not closed-minded, being taught and trained, But if you're guided correctly and you say you want to be in school and finish school, people that party a lot, you might not want to have around you every day. People that do drugs a lot, you might not, and it can sound closed minded, but it's just the all truth. It's gonna lead you into a way where I'm not separating, dividing. I just don't need to be around you all the time. And so if you're not around them all the time, you practically won't take on. And then the stronger person that you are, they might start looking at you like, maybe I need to change my life. Like my younger sister, like and me, we're more like our friends or the people that associate themselves with, they made changes based upon us. We were like, we are the examples to people. And it's not like a pride thing or to say, oh, I'm bigger, I'm badder, I'm better than you. I am more the example to the young men and the men that I even grew up with or older than me because I didn't have to take on what the environment tried to feed me. I didn't need the products of drugs of women. Like I'm talking, I know a guy, he's 47. He comparing getting vagina to actually caring for a woman. I said that's two different things. He was married before. I understand what happened, and that's his personal reasons in life. But I don't compare my conquering of getting a whole bunch of women to have sex with me do not show my manhood. Me overcoming where I came. Like you're not gonna categorize me based on how good my sex is or not good my sex is. You're not gonna categorize me on my color or hue or the type of man I am based off my skin without actually knowing the man I am. My characters and my character I said characters, wow. Personality and aura of me gonna shine bright than how many women I walked around with, or if I got married or had a child. But I know this, young men and women. Think about this, and this is not a diss to people, and it's never a diss. It's gonna come off as a diss because that is a closed mind. Their mind is only narrow one way. Like women say, well, at a young age, you should have a baby. Well, the way what we put in our foods and everything, it is going to be harder for women, especially our black, quote unquote, black women, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, accepting all these bondages we are binding to religion, we're binding to what they tell us. So if you already believe that you're going to have a complication at 40 to have a baby, you're more inclined to have a baby at a younger age, and most likely you're going to make a lot of errors, not mistakes. That there was not chance taken. You wouldn't take it. That was the era to think that I'm gonna have a baby with a man that don't value his life like I value mine. Like that would be very irresponsible of me to have a baby with a woman. And this is not being taught because we saying it's okay to have a baby at a young age with a Johnny, Mary, Elizabeth, all nationalities and ethnics, and it's stupid. I say that's flat out stupid. That's cursing the world. That's an iniquity that needs to be thrown out the door. I'm 35 and I'm happy, and the creator encourages me because I don't walk around. I'm like, I am saddened by not having a child yet and not being married. But I also he's like, look at this. My brother and all of like the guys running around, they got to go to court. I just met a guy. He got to go to court just to see his son. He go to the door. I seen it. I watched him in. He's like, oh, I'm here to pick up my son. She's like, you got my money? Literally, like, he's like, no, I didn't. I just gave you $200. I paid my rent. I paid this car. I paid the things that our son can have. And he's fighting this woman. He had to explain this to her. And it's like, but like he's giving her all the truth. What else do you want him to do? Let him save a little money for your son. Because I can obviously see it that you got a Michael Kors original purse, bag, and you got all these lavish things. You got on these earrings that didn't look fake either. He's paying for that. And she asking him for more. And then they arguing because he want to see his son. I can say that's a true gratefulness that I'm not doing that with women or any woman. I wouldn't be the deadbeat father or what we call deadbeats. That means the vibrations and drums don't go together. So why do I make a baby with a woman when our vibration and wavelengths don't go together? That's what unequally yoked means to me. Our energies is not even gelling. I have nothing. And I was like, they're like, why would you talk to her? I have nothing to talk to her about. It's like you making it hard. Well, I'm making it hard. She don't like jazz. And like a person of the core of who you are, to me, when you don't like jazz, because I listen to jazz, you know what a lot of music does? It mellows you out. It keep you into a calmness. And I ask women like, or even men, be by yourself. Women say maybe need to, no, I'm by myself. I'm by myself. Just like I told you the joke about the lady at the job. About I know how it feel to be you when you're home alone. I have to get up and go somewhere. I can't call up. I don't want to just call up a woman just for a booty call. I even stay away and stop doing things that I normally wouldn't do, because it's like that's not what I want. Because that would make me only close minded to myself. My other is appreciate you, appreciate yourself for who you are more than somebody appreciating you. I don't need. We talking validation. The whole world need validation. People that get married, the artists in the industry, the actors, because that's the only way they get paid. If you don't take a notice of me, you don't get paid. I don't have to take a see what my profession is. I have to notice the people to get paid. I have to, and they notice me back. But if you take away the money, I'm supposed to be getting paid way more than the money that what I do. Way more. So it's not about the money. I'm just moving up in the profession that at the end of if I keep working towards bettering myself in that profession, that career, I say profession because it's part of my life. It's a profession. It's coming a lifestyle now. Then I can't get paid the amount that I desire to get paid. But I can't stay at the bottom and think I'm gonna get paid. Oh, we're gonna give you make 12, let's give you 16. No. The other part, they get 35. Our RN get $35 an hour. The next one get 40 to $45 an hour. So that's a physician. That's where I want to get my and I wanted to be in healthcare, not so much medical and science and all that. I just wanted to be it. So when I can walk with the person, I can look at them and truly say, I know what's wrong with your body. I don't need a machine. I'm not going to need all that because spiritually I can discern. Because if you look at a droopy face, it's a stroke. But then if you look at their diet and their appetite, like I could tell a man all day or a woman all day, high fructose corn syrup is created sugar, it's not real sugar. So your body don't process the sugar and it kills and it breaks down your body. Just like alcohol it's an illegal substance. It's illegal because your body is not consuming it, it's not digesting it. That's why it's illegal. It's not being processed the correct way. It's illegal. So when you see the word illegal, think about your body, how your body is not going to process it the correct way. So if you don't, that's a closed mind. You're not allowing real information to enter, and that's what closed-minded versus all truth. Allowing the information to be received. Your brain is a receiver. Your ears and your eyes have to contract it, intact it. It has to be a perspective. You have to view it as such. What's the difference between stealing paper clips and literally spilling money? No reason, because eventually, if you're stealing all the paper clips, they got to keep paying for paper clips. And they're reusable. I can take one off and put it in my pocket. People are like, you got this? I'll pull it out of my pocket. They just look at me. Why is it in your pocket? Well, I had it earlier and I wasn't going to waste it. Here's a paper clip. And they like, why you have staples in your pocket? I seen a little small stack break off, and instead of throwing them away, I put them in my pocket. You don't have staples in your staple. Here's some staples. Why is you questioning that? But that's just me, because my mind is not just focused on one idea. Like I work around women, so I bought some hair pins and things. And one was like, why are these in your hand? The one girl I work with, like, because I know I'm working around a lot of women is in nursing homes more than men. I carry around a little freshener for the men, like body spray when I wash them up. The girl gave me that idea, the lady I work with. So it's like little things you can do. It's like, and it sounds funny, but that's all truth. See, all truth for me works with all truth. It don't varies. Like, just because I shoot you because you breaking in my house, it still count as murder. Self-defense is still murder. Like I'm not murder. If you pull a gun on me and I wrestle the gun out of your hand and you still find an opportune situation and you shoot yourself, I don't feel bad because you tried to murder me. And if you could say that's on the borderlines of did I murder him? But he tried to hurt me. I just defended myself. I didn't turn the gun on him. He shot himself because he tried to kill me. Person tried to, and I was like, everything else too. In some life events and situations, young men and women, and some older people, if you're listening, if you care to listen, that there's going to be situation in life that even your all truth have is going to get challenged. My first was when I did decide to use the word quote unquote being a Christian. It got challenged. Not the religion got challenged. The part about knowing there's a creator, he have given himself to me to understand him. If that makes sense, because we give ourselves to him. Because I understand the power of oneness. That's why people would like women would say, "Well, I want to beat you. You're, I want a God fearing man, quote unquote, God fearing." What is God fearing to them? So it's like, well, I am fearing of him based upon his sovereign, his reign, but I'm not scared of him. He didn't give me he didn't give me the spirit of fear. I don't have to fear him. So when you allow people and things in your life, the events, the situations to conquer you, then that's become fear. Death. You should not fear or be afraid of death. But knowing in your time it will happen. And not everybody death is their time. That was a person taking them out. That was misguided. And they was the error there, and it's not miss. They had no guidance at all. Because if a young man following after his father, he following after his father of selling drugs, that's an error. We need to be corrected. I'm not saying every person on this world is going to be the person like, wow, you're not like we're gonna do something wrong. It's gonna be some negative in the atmosphere. But the greatest thing about it, you can always get better and improve. There's no time. And there's like people like there's karma that's gonna happen. Well, it's like you do reap what you sow because you did manifest that. You shot this dude. You didn't kill him. His mind is he angry. He want revenge because you when you shot him, he probably can't move. He can't walk no more. What you thought that's going like? You got to think about that. If I'm closed minded and all truth, you got to think, man. You just shot him, man. He can't walk no more. Somebody in his life loved him or he loved himself. He can't do that. Same. He cannot do that no more. What you think he's going to think now? What you think he want to do now to you? See, nobody talks about that. And see, it makes sense to most of the time. It don't make sense to people, but it makes sense. You see where that's going? So if we really are truth, I was gonna write open minded, but some people it's not. It's too. I don't want to put that because you still should have a mind of yourself first, knowing that there is a creator. And if you don't, whatever your take on life is, make sure you're strong. It's like you can understand what's going on. It should have. And I listen to other people like Facebook, say YouTubes and media, like go to the library, get listening. They might talk a different way, but that don't make what you say less important. That don't make you less important to the people around you. You connect to who you connect to. I don't have to connect to everybody. Like if I did music, I don't need everybody in the world listening to me. I'm going to reach the people that need to be reached. It's got a song, I like a song I have called Seduced by the World. Seduced by the world, the world, the world, the world. And I used to say, Lord, save us. And I had to change it up and be like, the creator save us, show us the way. Seduce. Then I was then like the first line, and I'm still working on this song, and it's seduced by this world and all this intricate. Please help us now, creator. How did we get into this? We look into our lives and our souls took us up. But then they brought us down, but then we looked them up. And then after that, it's like seduced. How are we seduced? And see, as like now people say closed mind compared to all truth, we got homosexuality at the all. It's been this way. People been running in office. They was planning up to get to where we at. It's wrong in the sense of tell me when a child can procreate, two men can make a baby naturally and two women. Then I'll shut up about that. But till then, it's not wrong. I'm not saying two men and women, two women can't love each other. Two men. I'm not saying that. That's your decision. That's your choice. Remember, your choice. That's your choice. I cannot take nothing away from you because I did not create you, and I cannot control you because I did not make you. And I cannot tell you what to do because I'm not your author. So until then, just like I use that on me, use that on any person. They can't control you. They didn't make you. They're not the author. They didn't design. They have nothing to do with you. What I see you do has nothing to do with me until you start affecting what's around me. And when you affect what's around me for the wrong and the negative and the bad reasons, we have problems. Like Houston, we have a problem. The rocket's been launched. So whatever happens now, I'm gonna work in our truth. If you're not gonna work in our truth, don't come at me. And that's what a lot of people do. Don't quote Bible scriptures if you're not working in truth. Bible scripture is working in truth is being able to explain it in your way, not just the scripture says. And you should be able to explain what the scripture says. If you cannot, you need to go back and understand and ask the creator for revision, for vision, for revealing revelation. And if whatever you're doing in your life, if you don't have revelation and a vision, you need to be quiet. I have revelation to what I'm doing because I got a focus, a purpose, and the mission. And that's what I want to tell you, young men and women. Have a focus. What are you focusing on? What is your aim? Mine is community and unity. We have no togetherness. It's not a community, it's more of a neighborhood. If you break down neighbor, nigh is to draw close. Burr. Now, burr is like a burrow. We digging up. We're coming in the hood. Now that's a cast over a dome. So if I'm gonna use this in a positive way, neighborhood, we gotta come back together. So we can be a community, unity, unit, and start with itself. That's my focus, my purpose. That's my whole purpose to get you to challenge your brain to understand I'm not here to fight you or to kill you. I'm not here to take nothing away from you. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm here to guide so we can show that I can live just because you chose your sexual preference, just because your religious outlook. I have no problem with that. But let me be as you are being. I want you to be. I want you to enjoy your life. I want you to enjoy life and have everything in it. I want you to have quality with quantity. I want you to be rich. See, when people say you're going to be rich, I'm going to be rich in spirit and physical and mental and financial because my mind is set on that's my mission. My mission is to make sure that my family around me can come together. That's wealth. Rich, growing up, progress up, level up, being better, improving, and being in position. I have to go through, and what I'm going through is like I don't have to, but in the understand, just say I started a community unity in 2010, 2009, which I was going to go out, go to door. And I didn't know what I know now about how people is going to react. I'd have been very hurt because I'm a type of person of being pushed on, and it's like kind of over and over. That's what get me angry. When I see people, if we're going to say they're closed-minded, like a lady based on her skin color, when you call her ugly, and if she been through a lot, and that's what happened to people, you compare me to a lighter person. So are you comparing the lighter person more handsomer than I am? Is he, or are you comparing him by his character, his personality? Because you care by his character and personality, you don't have a better character and personality. And I would call that out. You can say as arrogance, as I stated before, conceited. That's no, they don't. That person just walked by a person that was in need of help. I mean, in true need, and they couldn't discern. But that's based on their spiritual outlook. I don't know their spiritual outlook, but he cannot feel the energies and vibration, the true need. And I'd have just left him with words. I was like, well, I don't support drug habits, but let's go here. And I have like this, like me, like, oh, I want to go there. I was like, why? I was like, I want help, but I'm not I'm not worried about you. And you don't worry about being in a position to help because the first position is yourself. I was like, you know what you're doing? And it's like not word from word. I said it a different way at the time, but the way I can think of how I say it now, this is how it was coming to me. I was like, you appreciate your drugs more than you love yourself. And I probably said it more like you don't love yourself enough to know that you are great. or you are better than us. And they would look at me. He's like, you don't know me. He started getting mad. I was like, I do know you. I know you right now. I was like, we in the now and present. How I don't know you. I was like, I can touch you. I put my hand out like I can shake your hand, and it's a firm grip because I look at you as a sir. I don't look at you as a bum or a or a druggie or a junkie because that's not what is making you. You allow that to overtake your mind. And he was like, you must be a man of, and I get different takes on life. Some say you must be a Christian or you a man of God. Cause I know you can manifest what you want. Like when I go to church and people start praying for people, like go up for prayer. I don't want to go up for prayer. I don't know what he's praying about and I don't know the spirit of him. So I am not familiar. I am okay with what he's saying to me because he can speak in truth. But his mind is going to be closed. And I don't know if he got a real closed mind. Or I don't know if he a prophet with a P-O-R or P-R-O, I mean F-I-T or P-R-O-P-H-E-T. I don't know which prophet is he, which one he's aiming for. I'm not familiar with him. I'm not familiar with his type of spirit. So I don't want to go for prayer. And we say a little few words and give me a handshake. I say, just make peace with what you're going to tell me. And we make peace with what he tells me. And people we get taught, and I can hear them. And I listen in. And then they only usually have a 1 or 2 minute prayer with me, or what they call a prayer. And I was like, nah, and I was like, I'll receive that because I heard what he said. And I know where the spirit was coming from. Because now we have joined hands. Because when you touch, like they say, touch and agree. When you really touch somebody, now the vibrations, since our vibrations from a distance and wavelengths from a different, like right now my hands, but I know who I am. So my vibrations is connecting from a distance. I don't know him, but once I touched him, we connected. And see, that's not being taught. That's not even being guided to understand yet. So that's why I say being closed-minded is based on a guidance to understand. It's not so much you're closed-minded. Like some people need to travel. Some people need to go a place to say, I need to enjoy other cultures. I don't need to go enjoy other cultures, but I can look at home, be at home and understand why it's the way it is. But we got to remember, well, I say unto one, I say unto all, it's your path. It's your choice. The main thing is your choice. You making all the decisions you want to make. Make sure they're positive. Make sure they're good. And you are great. And make your positive and good. Like, I love me. I am great. I am the best. It's not a conceitedness. It's not a diva attitude. But you can be selfish. So be mindful of that. You can be greedy. You can be glutton. So you gotta be mindful. You don't need too much. You can be intent with what you have, but you still strive and thrive for better. Just like the profession I was saying, I'm a certified nurse assistant. It's not that I want to get paid more money, but I know in this line of duty, you should move up in your profession. It's your lifestyle. So now I have my CNA, I have my home health aide. I become a registered nurse with my bachelor's in nursing. Then I'll be a physician. I have all of those under my belt, and I can understand all the aspects of what healthcare is surrounded by, what it is derived of, what it come from, what is needed. So I can put the care back in health, and the health back in care. So health, these words can go together, but right now we're not in the times where healthcare, because they're just giving them drugs and medicine, and then the care part, the workers and the people around, it's not really caring. They act like they care. Like what's one things, and this is not a diss to families. This is to make you think. This is to challenge your mind. I see families coming there, they hang out with their mother or father or grandma all day, and that's cool. I respect that. But why you got to put them in a nursing home for that to happen first? Why they need to be hurt? Why they need to be sick for you to spend more time with them? Why they have to be dying? Why you have to be close to the time? Why now? When like think about when Trump he's gonna hurt the system of our economy. Why do we need to be threatened to be better? Why your child have to die for you to advocate for whatever you advocating for? Why your mother gotta die? Why can't we now in the present prepare for the future that we can't predict? We cannot predict the future, no matter how much. I could try to save all $20,000 all I want and come up with 10,000 because things life happen. That's cool, but I'm still more prepared because I saved 10,000 by June 24th, 2019. I started on June 24th, 2018. So it's like I'm preparing myself for the next year. So then by June next year, I can travel. Or by April or May, maybe even February, where it's cold. I want to travel in the winter where it's cold to a hot place. That's just me. So in the closed minded versus all truth, learn the all truth. Like I learned the history of man, we was fostering, grooming, and breeding and nurturing young women to hate their own men. We groomed the same thing for men. My the people that my race I grew that they put me I was part of have a slavery was different from the Holocaust. We're not discrediting, but it was different. It was different from Fidel Castro and the Mussolini that was controlling the Adolf Hitler era. It was different. Everybody had their differences, but don't make them the same. But I find assimilation. But I'm not going to be closed minded and say, "Oh, mine was stronger, better." No, I am not superior to you, or I'm not inferior to you. I'm not a beta and I'm not an alpha. I'm becoming as a man, a being, the creator that God called me to be. And if I'm missing based on the inequity of the world, the iniquity of the world, based on how they nurture, trained, and breeded women to not like a certain type of man, of a skin color, of his actions, or the way he is, I am okay because I can't change that. But I know I can go guide some young men and women. So those women that's having those kids, I'm going to be their guider because their mother and father only see one way to life when his life is a challenge. Life is a trial, it's a tribulation to prepare you for your soul and your spiritual being, the being that you're going to become, not who you are now. Have a great day. Enjoy life. Enjoy yourself. Love yourself. And just be the greatest and the best you can be within your own time, your own accord. And it's not one thing wrong with your time. Or do you fast or slow? You get it now or later. There's nothing wrong. As long as you always building and moving towards who the best way you can. If you're 100%, give you a 75, that's your 100%. Be very proud of yourself and appreciate that because it's going to be a time when you're 100% because you're working so hard that nobody see. And then when they finally see it, you're not looking for their validation, but you will see a person and they are looking to you and you can look into them and you can help one each other. And then it become a better place. If we really going to sit down and talk about becoming a better world, that's the easiest. But no, we're not really doing that. We're not advocating. We're not guiding all people. And then you got people that, and if they are closed minded, they only see one way. They see one march. And they say it was no white people. Well, I seen the march and we had white. So you seen one march. It's not our fault that the white people in that area decided not to. They just joined. They came out of their house and joined us. We didn't because we didn't know them. We didn't know to call them. We just say we're doing a march. Do you stand together as a people? If you do, Black lives do matter. People of my skin color do get treated different. Men of my race and my own women do treat me different. We do treat women different. We do treat our women different. We do treat other races. When are we going to recognize that? When are we going to say all the truth based on what happened in the history, the stories that they gave us, how they treated us, how we treated them, how we did? When are we going to start saying the all truth? Shalom.